In this world, there are the haves and the have-nots. Those who the village has supported and those left behind. The voiced and the voiceless. Citizen Advocacy of Atlanta and DeKalb Incorporated is here to change that.
Citizen Advocacy is a way to provide protection and advocacy to people who are vulnerable to discrimination, neglect, or abuse, or social isolation, who happen to be living with labels of developmental disability.
A matchmaking service creating lifelong partnerships between citizen volunteers or advocates and people living with developmental disabilities or proteges has successfully made 700 perfect matches since 1977.
We only make 12 matches in a year. We look for people from infants to whatever.
One match, paired in 2009, formed the unbreakable bond of this dynamic duo, featuring protege Lois Curtis, whose life story actually led to the U.S. Supreme Court's Olmstead decision, declaring that people segregated in institutions are victims of disability discrimination, thus freeing them from unnecessary and unjust institutionalization.
Lois was in a group home at the time. And it wasn't until 2009 that I was formally asked with Lois to be Lois Advocate, and Lois is officially, through Citizen Advocacy, my protege.
Now living on her own and spreading the beauty of her expression through highly acclaimed artwork, Lois even garnered the support of our country's commander-in-chief as an invited guest at the White House.
Very meaningful to me. It's rather emotional at times, to be very much involved in Lois's home support. I'm on what's called a microboard. There are 6 or so of us. Lois is the president of the microboard. She's the one who calls our meetings to order, and it has to do with really supporting her in the community.
That's the type of transformative reality Citizens Advocacy creates, matching heart to personality. Made here in this DeKalb County-based House of Hope, where advocates are provided a myriad of ways to support thousands of people left in the shadows and who society has often turned its back on.
Some are very general, such as just spending time with Aaron, being a male role model in his life, and to act by example, show him by example how things are supposed to be done. And then other ways are more specific, helping him plan specifically his next steps, talk about goals, work through problems.
I'm here for a reason, and I know how hard it is for friendships for people with developmental disabilities. I mean, social skills aren't great, they're isolated, they usually don't drive, that sometimes are very hard to communicate with. And but they're great people if you take the time to get to know them. You can get a waiver, which is, money that's state and federal money, and that can provide you with a place to live, hopefully a safe place to live. But it does not necessarily give you a life. And part of what makes you have a life is to have a friend, and that's what we do.
It's really about ensuring a quality of life we all deserve for a population of people who boast infectious spirits and captivating joy, yet are forced to lead diminished lives at the hands of a society which turns a blind eye to the developmentally disabled.
It's going to sound a lot like her story because Denise has been a mentor to me. She has taught me a lot about what her life experiences are. She has taught me about courage. She's taught me about just sticking with life in spite of very, very hard things. But also, is probably my closest friend. And we've been in relationship about 45 years.
Priorities for this nonprofit include working to help navigate life's issues, fighting against abuse, ensuring quality education and adequate housing, and assisting with legal issues such as financial exploitation and guardianship.
And here's the thing about if you have a disability, you're going to have a disability. And until our culture changes how we think about disability, you're likely going to need to have somebody in your life to navigate that. Just daily challenges.
And as freshman board member Betty Thompson explains, this nonprofit is all about
H-E-L-P. I-N-G. Helping others.
And for this artist and literal change agent, life is now good. Ways to support range from financial contributions to learning about citizen advocacy. To find out how you can help the heart work of this organization, visit citizenadvocacyatlantadecalb.org. Citizen Advocacy of Atlanta and DeKalb, changing our community one match at a time.